So here we are connected and live, and I hope we will be able to provide you uninterrupted session. So just give me a minute. Okay, so sufficient number of people, they will be joining us, and then we will be starting this particular session. The PDF for today's session has been uploaded on our Telegram group. You can download the PDF. Okay, sufficient number of people have already joined us. Let's start the session without wasting much time. Nisar Lon, good morning. Nandini, Ajay, Sakshi, Yamandeep, good morning everyone. So here we are about to start. Let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper. Sachdeva, classes of mathematics, good morning. Chaliye, so let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper, and we are going to start with the words of none other than Martin Luther King Jr. So he says that our lives began to end the day we became silent about things that matter. Now, this is really important. See, in our life, it is not just about us. Okay, our life is not just about us. So you have to move from me, I, and us towards a collective effort. Okay, towards a collective effort. So wherever you will see injustice being done, you should speak. You should speak. And we are going to link it with Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda said that if you think what is right, just fight for that right. No. So we should always fight for justice and right things in our life. You should always fight for truth. And we know that Satyamev Jayate. Satyamev Jayate. Okay. So this is the important lesson that we should know. That at the end of the day, truth will triumph. No matter how some circumstances can be difficult right now, but one day you will win. It will be your victory. Okay, you will win and it will be your victory. So it is important in our life that we should not remain silent about things that matter. So if there is injustice being done in any part of any walk of your life, you should speak against that. That's the important point here. Okay, we do understand that things are going to be difficult. Yes, but that difficulty will make you a better and strong human being. It will prepare you for the future challenges that are going to come. That's the important part of speaking against the injustice that is being done here. So you should follow these mantras in your life, as they are very effective. They are very effective. Okay, it will make you a better human being. This is what the point is about. So we'll move to the next part. Let's see what else is there. Okay, so here we have this news. Now Iran denies role but justifies attack on Salman Rushdie. So Salman Rushdie was recently attacked. Okay, so 34 years back there was one fatwa that was introduced against Salman Rushdie, because he has written a novel literature work called Satanic Verses. Now that particular Satanic Verses was also banned in India. Okay, that Satanic Verses was banned in India as well. So this is the point that you should understand. This is the point that you should understand. Okay, right now that fatwa was issued, and Iranians, they are, some of them were celebrating it. Okay, but definitely it's a sad state if a country is celebrating an attack on someone. Now it's, that attack is nothing but that attack is on civil liberties. Okay, that you cannot speak out what do you feel. You cannot speak out what do you feel. That's the important point here. So we need to do something regarding this in our life. It is really very important that we need to have tolerance towards these things. Okay, so we need to respect individual point of view. So that's the important point here, and other than that there is nothing much. So he's out of danger right now. Okay, so Fatwa, Sakshi, please search it out on Google. You will get the correct answer. Okay. So थोड़ा effort आपकी तरफ से भी होना चाहिए ना. Country facing twin challenges of corruption and nepotism. This is what Modi ji is saying. Okay. So Modi ji is saying that like we are facing these twin challenges, that is nepotism and corruption. Okay. But the point is this, let's look into the causes of corruption. Now Modi ji is saying that we are dealing with this particular problem. Okay. ठीक है, fine, that is fine. But what are the causes of corruption? Why do we have corruption? What are the causes of corruption? What are the causes of corruption? So please try to understand this thing. Now causes are in different dimensions. Okay, so one of the cause that I will be mentioning is the colonial cause. Now how come colonial cause is there? See, you need to understand one thing here, the bureaucracy that we are operating with. Okay, that bureaucracy was, you can say, we got it from Britishers. So same type of structures that were there during the British time, we got those things in continuance for our benefit. That's one point here. But the bureaucracy at that time was colonial, and colonial means they were known for maintaining secrecy. And today as well, bureaucracy maintains secrecy. Now secrecy means no openness. Okay, no openness means that people will not come to know how system is working. So there will be no transparency either. And where there will be no transparency, definitely that's an avenue for corruption. जहाँ ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं होती है वहाँ पे करप्शन होने के चांसेस बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं. दिस इज द मेजर पॉइंट. ओके, सो जहाँ पे ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं होती है वहाँ पे करप्शन के चांसेस होते हैं. तो दिस colonial reason is one of the reason that, or you can say that history से we continued the same old system and that is creating trouble for us right now. तो वही पुराना सिस्टम हमने कंटिन्यू किया हुआ है और वो आज की डेट में आपको प्रॉब्लम दे रहा है. ठीक है, दिस इज वन पार्ट. Other reason, if you talk about, okay, now other reason is legal arrangements, legal reasons. Now legal in the sense that we are using laws that are archaic. पुराने कानून इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं हम. Those laws are not sufficient. They are quite weak to deal with the problems like corruption. That's one of the major reason. And other problem is this, whenever we talk about corruption in India, it is difficult to prove corruption, very difficult to prove corruption. Okay, so you will come across few news that some of the bureaucrats, they have been imprisoned. भाई अब जेल हो जाती है bureaucrats को. अब वो bureaucrats को जो जेल हो रही है वो basically corruption के केस प्रूव ही नहीं हुए हैं. जेल is basically in terms of डिसप्रपोर्शनेट एसेट का केस लगता है उनके ऊपर. करप्शन का केस तो कभी प्रूव ही नहीं होता है. डिसप्रपोर्शनेट एसेट्स, आय से ज्यादा संपत्ति का केस. So this is really very important point that you should understand, that your existing system is not able to prevent corruption. Other reason that is there is the judicial reason. Now judiciary is busy. Okay, judiciary is over occupied. Cases can prolong, so 10 to 15 years, 10-15 साल तक केस चलेगा. There is no deterrence. कोई डर नहीं है किसी को, कोई नहीं डरता करप्शन करने से. People are thinking this as a, you can say, avenue for making money for generations. भाई एक बार करप्शन करो, 300-400 करोड़ आ गया, उसके बाद सारी generations आपकी सुधर जाएंगी. This is the mindset that is prevailing. Okay, so judicial reason is also there. Political reason is definitely there. Now the corruption, the use of money power, muscle power that we see during the election time, that is also one of the reason for corruption, because someone is investing money in the election. कोई 1-1.5 करोड़ रुपए अगर अपने इलेक्शन में लगाता है, so it means that he will expect returns. ₹1.5 करोड़ लगा के आपको रिटर्न्स क्या एक्सपेक्ट करेगा कोई कि कम से कम 15 करोड़ रिटर्न तो आए. Okay, so that money will come from corruption definitely. So this is the point that you have to understand. And here in India, corruption can be of different types. Now, if you talk about nepotism means favoritism, bhai bhatijawad जिसको बोलते हैं. So nepotism is also a type of corruption. Okay, corruption जरूरी नहीं है कि there is exchange of money. There is no, you can say, requirement that you will consider only those things as corruption in which the monetary exchange is taking place. No, हर चीज में जरूरी नहीं है, but definitely ये एक रीजन होता है. ओके, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ वे ऑफ करप्शन. That's the major point. So other than that, there is, you can say, Modi ji is saying that there are 5 pledges that he's suggesting. He's saying that, like, number 1, resolve for a developed India. Okay, so we all need to work for this direction, that we have to make this country a developed nation. Second point, he's saying that developing any trace of colonial mindset. Okay, removing any trace of colonial mindset. That we need to remove this colonial mindset that is prevailing in different sections of the society. So you have to remove this colonial mindset, because without removing it, we cannot progress. You cannot take your country to the next level. That's the important point here. Okay, it is really very critical that we seriously deal with this colonial mindset, because till the time this colonial mindset is prevailing within bureaucracy, your bureaucracy is never going to be the people centric bureaucracy. आपकी bureaucracy कभी भी people centric bureaucracy नहीं होगी. This is the important point you have to understand. Okay, so third thing he is pointing towards, that we need to take pride in our legacy, in our strength of unity. Okay, so we should be very proud about ourselves. We should never complain, or we should not feel sorry for ourselves. हमें कभी भी अपने लिए sorry नहीं सोचना चाहिए. This is the point. Okay, fulfilling the duties of citizen with honesty, which should be done by prime minister and the chief ministers as well. Okay, so this is how things are. These are the pledges that Modi ji is expecting the citizen of this country to take, and this is the only step. The point is this: citizen are the main strength of this nation. Okay, if citizen are good, definitely your country will move towards the path of development. अगर आपके सिटीजन खराब हैं तो डेवलपमेंट जो है वो नहीं हो सकता है. दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर. ओके, सो अदर देन दैट देयर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. ओके, सो विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, डायरेक्टली टू द एडिटोरियल पोर्शन हियर. लेट्स सी व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज देयर फॉर अस इन द एडिटोरियल पार्ट हियर. ओके, तो देखते हैं एडिटोरियल में क्या खास है हमारे लिए. ओके, सो हियर वी आर हेडिंग टूवर्ड्स दैट, एंड फ्रेजिलिटी ऑफ द नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंटीग्रेशन. So here they are talking about few things, that what are the issues that are there, and why it is difficult to integrate northeast. What are the issues that we are facing right now? So you need to understand one thing. There is one of the colonial factor that is responsible. Colonial in the sense that if you see the you can say in like unification of India. Okay, so अगर आप unification of India की बात करते हैं, so like specifically the central part and the southern part, including these particular region. So this was, say, Calcutta. That was your Calcutta. Okay, so like this Calcutta was there, Madras was there. Okay, and Bombay, at that time it was Bombay. So these 3 presidencies were there, and later on, like these parts, central, like you can say Delhi as well. So they were quite integrated within the system. But the northeast, even this part was not integrated during the British time. So this is how you need to understand one thing. Like at that time as well, this was not incorporated as a Indian, you can say, as a British Indian territory. So this reason you have to understand. So this is one of the factors that led to the slow integration of northeast with the rest of the India. But definitely it's an Indian part. Okay, so this particular editorial is throwing some light on that. So the idea of India is under transformation again, and any return to mainstream versus substream friction spells danger. Okay, this is the point. Now region has always been seen to be somewhat alien and needing assimilation, which found reflection in the administrative terms too. देर आर टू सच मेजर्स दैट आर देयर. देखिए इंटीग्रेशन के लिए जोर मारा गया है. ओके, सो वन एफर्ट वाज, यू कैन से, सिक्स्थ शेड्यूल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन which was introduced in 1949, and like this effort was a cooperative one, and there was another effort that was of AFSPA, that is using of force, and force that was given some additional powers. Okay, फोर्स का इस्तेमाल करना और उस फोर्स को थोड़ी एडिशनल पावर्स देना, ये हमने कुछ किया था इस केस में. सो दिस इज द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट हियर, दैट वी ट्राइड बोथ कोर्सिव एज वेल एज द कोऑपरेटिव एफर्ट. दोनों एफर्ट हमने यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं मारे हैं. These are points. Now, sixth schedule was independent India's first administrative instrument. Okay, uh, like this was, you can say, suggested. This schedule mandates the formation of autonomous district councils. Okay, in which, among others, tribal customary laws were given legitimacy. Now, this is what you need to understand. It was part of your sixth schedule. But the point is this: at that time when this came under introduction, the Naga Hills, they refused the sixth schedule, that they just want sovereignty, and that led to the start of insurgency in that area. And subsequently, like AFSPA was brought in, Armed Force Special Power Act was brought in 1958. This whole idea started. Now the point is this: over the time, like things have improved, and we are now focusing on inclusion by accommodation. Okay, there are multiple steps that have been taken. We tried to like pacify the insurgents who are there in the northeast, and we are working in a, you can say, peaceful manner for the integration of northeast with the rest of India. So here we did something like changes in the Northeastern Council. Okay, it was found as an institution so that you can facilitate regular talks with the leaders who are there in the Northeastern Council and with the central ministries. This is one point here. Subsequently, you had Department of Northeast Region. It was created in Union government, and later it was graded to a full-fledged ministry. Okay, so this department is there, which basically looks into the developmental aspect. Okay, developmental aspect that are going on in the northeast, and yet you have a dedicated ministry to facilitate that. It's a specific special priority that is given to the northeast by Indian government. This is one part. Other point is this: yes, definitely some efforts have been made to humanize the Armed Force Special Power Act. So no doubt it is going to be difficult to humanize this. Okay, but because you are giving, you can say, too much power to the force, but somehow it is important that this need to be reformed. So we have Reddy Commission report. Okay, so you can definitely refer to the Reddy Commission report. That commission report suggested some of the improvements. So we do have a roadmap to improve the Armed Force Special Power Act as well. But the point is this: you need to have the political will to implement it. आपको सिर्फ political will दिखानी है इसको implement करने के लिए. Okay, this is the important point. This is the important point. So we'll move to the next part here. Next news is regarding this: the temples that Jawaharlal Nehru built. Okay, so there were some really good institutions that were built by Jawaharlal Nehru, and we are reaping the benefits right now. Okay, so you need to understand, like, Nehru versus Gandhi. Okay, this is the debate here. Debate in the sense, both of them, they had their own point of view. Now Nehru wanted to have heavy big industries, okay, to, you can say, to develop India. Gandhi, parallelly, he wanted to have a decentralized system. Okay, and he wanted to have village level institutions, and specifically the cottage industry. This was the focus of Gandhiji. So the outcome of Nehruvian vision as well as the Gandhian vision was that we focused upon both. We focused upon both. So as Nehru was, you can say, he wanted to have heavy industry in India, we started, you can say, investment in Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Okay, there was dams that were constructed, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, IIMs, IITs. Okay, so these ideas were basically Nehruvian ideas, and we worked upon that. And today we are producing good quality human resource, as well as these entities are really good. they are quite efficient. If you see things after 75 years of your independence, things are quite good. So we cannot outrightly deny the contribution of Nehru. He did play important role, and this is what this editorial is pointing towards. So basically, the base that was provided by Nehru, it led to the stability of your economy in India. वहां से आपकी इकोनॉमी जो है वो स्टेबल हो जाती है, बिकॉज इफ दैट बेस वाज वीक, देन इकोनॉमी वुड नॉट हैव बीन स्टेबल. लुक, यू कैन इजीली कंपेयर इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान एट प्रेजेंट. ओके, इंडिया पाकिस्तान आप दोनों को कंपेयर करके देख लो, व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन राइट नाउ. ओके, so we are far better than the Pakistanis, because these institutions were quite present in our nation, and this is how Nehruvian vision was quite effective. This is what this editorial is about. So we cannot outrightly reject his contribution. This is what the thing is. We'll move to the next part. Next news is regarding this India Police Act 1861. So the point is this: we, after 75 years of independence, we are still being governed by the old law. पुराने कानून से हम अभी भी चल रहे हैं. ओके, दिस इज वन ऑफ द रीजन व्हाई योर पुलिस is still colonial in nature. Now you need to understand colonial nature of police. It means that Britishers had that police basically to control Indians. Okay, to basically control Indians, and the same mindset is prevailing at present as well. That is use of force to control Indians. This is how the police operate right now as well. Now, the point is this: when we talk about democracy, democracy is not about control, it's about cooperation. Okay, so you need to facilitate cooperation from the people, that they participate in the governance activity. But here, police in India is known for using the coercive method. डरा के धमका के डंडा दिखा के काम करती है आपकी पुलिस, and this is how one of the reason for inefficiency in the police department. So there are multiple reforms that have been carried out by the government. Okay, but still there is lot more to be done. That's the major point here. So we are celebrating 75 years of independence, and police continue to be governed by the old law. Okay, old law. That's the major point here. Now, some of the efforts have been made at the judicial level as well as at the, you can say, at the legislative level as well, to basically reform the system. Many laws have been brought in. Okay, so SC/ST Protection Act, etc., etc., etc. Many legal arrangements have been brought in. So you have section 377 of IPC. This has been declared to be unconstitutional. Okay, custodial torture, sexual harassment of women have been held to be violations of fundamental rights. Now all these things have been provided by the judicial, you can say, interpretation or by other measures, but still we have some of the issues that are prevailing. So you are still using the sedition law, you are still using Indian Penal Code that was framed way back in 1870, and Indian Police Act that was again brought in 1861. Okay, so we are governed by that particular law. Now the point is this: we do have this old laws that are there. Okay, uh, that has been one of the reason for poor functioning of your police. And the point is this: there is lack of trust on police. There is lack of trust on police. This is the major point. Okay, this is the reason why, you can say, CCTV cameras have been introduced in the police station, why lawmakers are reluctant to basically make voluntary confession before police admissible. This is a major point here. Okay, these points, they do exist. Many committees, they have recommended multiple things. So you have Prakash Singh versus Union of India. This is one of the you can say very famous case, which for reforms in the police department, but these reforms were never implemented. Okay, these reforms were never implemented. So Supreme Court instructions were even not implemented. This is the major point here. Now the point is this: this police is regularly being misused by the people in power. They use it for their political motive, basically to control people. Okay, uh, definitely, like, more reforms were also carried out. So the point is this: we are still using the old law. There were many recommendations that were carried out, including by Model Police Act drafted by Soli Sorabji. Still we are using the old system. Okay, And there was, you can say, this police is a state list subject. Okay, this is a state list subject, and definitely state has important role in this. And there were some reforms that were carried out, but look at how police operates in an lack of independent manner. So you have this idea that DSP is unable to transfer his SHOs without the approval of district magistrate in UP. ओके, तो डीएम की परमिशन की जरूरत पड़ती है अगर डीएसपी को अपने एसएचओज को ट्रांसफर करना है. द परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल रिपोर्ट ऑफ एसपी इज स्टिल रिटन बाय डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट. So no doubt Supreme Court has come out with multiple, you can say, recommendations regarding these things, regarding reforming the system, but we are still using the old system. That's the bit problematic part here. पुराना सिस्टम आप यूज कर रहे हो और उसके हिसाब से चल रहे हो, और वही सबसे बड़ी समस्या है यहाँ पे. Okay, this is the major point here. Other thing is this, like, though the process of drafting IPC, now Indian Penal Code की बात करें तो 1934 में स्टार्ट हुआ था. Like 1857 का जो revolt था, it has played a really important role in drafting of the Police Act, because now you wanted a police which was designed to control the people. So the police at that time was a weapon of repression, and somehow we are still using it. उसी टाइप का सिस्टम आप आज भी यूज कर रहे हो. ओके, प्रिवेंशन ऑफ क्राइम was not their priority, and this problem is still existing. Now this is what has been pointed out by Andrew A.L. Fraser's commission. Okay, the Fraser commission was formed, and it is also pointing towards the same thing. He pointed out that the training part is defective, organization itself is defective, and we are using the same organization even after independence. सो जिनको ब्रिटिशर्स ने खुद क्रिटिसाइज किया था वही सिस्टम आप यूज कर रहे हो, तो कैसे वो अब सिस्टम अच्छा काम करेगा. ओके, तो कुछ रिकमेंडेशन इस कमीशन की थी जो हमने एक्सेप्ट की थी, बट मेजरली none of the recommendations were accepted, and today as well the same fate is there. There are many committee commissions which have recommended multiple things, और हमारे आज भी जो है वैसे का वैसा एटीट्यूड है. Political will is not there. Okay, what is the reason why these reforms cannot take place? Because political will, it is not present. So basic thing for reform is this: you need to have the political will. Without that you cannot expect the system to be reformed. That's the major point here. So we'll move to the next part, a roadmap of India EU ties. Okay, a roadmap for India EU ties. This is the, you can say, major point here. So let's look into this. Now India and EU should not let divergence of views on some issues overwhelm the convergence of views of other areas. Okay, see, the point is this is basically this editorial that we see, it is a direct answer. Okay, it is a direct answer to a question if it is there on India EU. अगर इंडिया EU के ऊपर कोई सवाल आता है तो उसका सीधा साधा ये आंसर ही है आपके सामने. ठीक है जी. Now India EU should not let divergence of view of some issues. Okay, 15th India EU summit pointed towards some of the things. There was a roadmap that was suggested कि हम कैसे साथ में काम करेंगे. So there were few things, 5 domains के अंदर हमने बात की थी कि foreign policy, security cooperation होगा, trade and economy should be the focus, sustainable modernization partnership will be there, global governance will be focused, and people to people relation. So these 5 areas were prioritized by India EU summit, and both countries, they said that we will be working together. Now when you talk about India EU, now your bilateral trade is growing. It has touched upon $116 billion. Okay, India is basically, India's second largest trading partner is European Union after United States. Okay, and it is the second largest, you can say, destination for Indian exports. So EU is quite important for us. There are 6,000 European companies that are working directly and indirectly in India, and they are producing 6.7 million jobs. Okay, so parallel to that, Indian companies are also investing in European Union. You know that. Like there are some strategic areas where we are focusing upon. Now say green strategic partnership between India and Denmark. So you link it, note it down for your prelims. Okay, note it down for your prelims. Like we have a green strategic partnership between India and Denmark, and like with that we are going to address climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution and other things. Okay, so we are focusing on green technologies as well as the industry transformation, okay, towards clean technology, etc, etc, etc. These are the focus things that we have. Now India and EU regularly conduct the joint military and naval exercises which reflect on their commitment to free, open, inclusive and rule based order. Okay, this is the basic point. Both countries they respect rule based order. Okay, तो rule based order की दोनों ही respect करते हैं. एंड दिस इज द पॉइंट. मतलब चाइना अगर रूल तोड़ता है, असर्टिव दिखता है, तो यूरोप और इंडिया साथ में काम करने को तैयार है. ओके, दिस इज द मेजर पॉइंट. बोथ आर वर्किंग इन कोऑपरेशन इन मैरीटाइम डोमेन, capacity building, joint naval exercises. France, like we got 36 Rafale fighters from France. France is still willing to provide us the Barracuda nuclear attack submarines, okay, for Indian Navy. And this is how things are. Now, major European defense equipment firms, they are also interested in Make in India program as well. So this is how the overall scenario is between India and Europe. Now, along with that, science and technology, startup culture, okay, these are the other areas where our interests are aligning in other sectors such as healthcare, artificial intelligence, etc, etc, etc. So this is how your, you can say, your relation between European Union and India is really, you can say, moving towards in a right direction. And other important point is this: now there are some challenges that exist between us as well. So those challenges remain, like there are differing opinions in some areas, like India's reluctance to explicitly condemn Russia's intervention in Ukraine. This is one reason. India has called out Europe's double standard on the same. The EU purchased 45% of its gas import from Russia. Now, their points were quite convergent here. Europeans were criticizing Indians that, okay, why are you not helping us out in imposing the sanctions against the Russians? So we were saying that you didn't stop buying gas from Russia, and you are pointing us that we should not buy oil from Russia. So that was the major point here. Okay, that was the major point here. And other than that, in European Union there is no unanimity on China, because if you talk about the Eastern European countries, they are quite happy to work with China. They have no problem with China. This is the major point here. Okay, कुछ खास उनको प्रॉब्लम नजर नहीं आती है चाइना के साथ काम करने में. So there also our interest and our thought processes are diverging. वहां पे भी हमारा जो इंटरेस्ट है वो थोड़ा सा डाइवर्ज हो रहा है. दिस इज द मेजर पॉइंट हियर. नाउ इंडियाज इकोनॉमिक, पॉलिटिकल एंड डेमोग्राफिक वेट कुड नॉट बी डायरेक्टली leveraged by EU to counterbalance China's influence. Okay, so still they are relying on China. They are not, you can say, uh, they are not having confidence on India that India can be a balancer for China. कि इंडिया सही में जो है एक बैलेंसर का काम कर सकता है. अभी भी उसको लेके कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं है. ओके, दैट्स द मेजर पॉइंट हियर. That's the major point. So these things are prevailing. These things are prevailing. Major factors. ठीक है जी. India and EU should not let such divergence of views overwhelm the many areas of convergence among them. Okay, that's the message that we have. We are still working out to resolve the differences. Okay, so we are working out, say, to resolve the issue of India EU free trade partnership, that agreement, that's in right direction. We are working together in Indo-Pacific region. We are working for the stability of the region. Okay, so Europe definitely does have many like-minded countries with India. And Mr. S. Jaishankar, he has also said that our basically our interests are quite aligning. Okay, हमारे interest काफी मिलते जुलते हैं. So we can work together, both India and Europe. That's the European Union. That's the major, you can say, conclusion that we have here. Okay, this was the point. So other than that there is nothing much. कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. We'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं. So the conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh region. Okay, so here you should understand this point. This is the Nagorno-Karabakh region in front of you. Now this is the pocket of Armenians. Okay, there are some Armenians living in that area, and it is surrounded by Azerbaijan from all sides. So this region is quietly contested by both Armenians and the Azerbaijan, means people. The point is this: right now the peace has been made. Okay, कहीं ना कहीं शांति है because Russian peacemakers are present in the region. Because Russians are present in the region, that's the only relief that we have. But you never know when this will flare up. कब एकदम से लड़ाई शुरू हो जाए आपको पता नहीं लगता है, ठीक है ना. एंड ओवर दीज थिंग्स in this particular, you can say, area as well, proxy wars are being played. Okay, because Turkey is supporting Azerbaijan. तो टर्की अजरबैजान को सपोर्ट कर रहा है, अर्मीनिया समहाउ दे हैव द रशियन सपोर्ट. ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ दिस होल इशू इज स्टिल प्रिवेलिंग. And like differences are there over the status of this particular region, because this is basically an Armenian enclave, which is also known as Republic of Artsakh. Okay, so like this frustrated thing is still going on. They do respect that it can be given an autonomous status, but still things are not clear. Okay, so देखते हैं क्या होता है इसका future आगे. But this is one of the major issue that is existing in the present time. Okay, now controversial visit of a Chinese vessel to Haman Rota. So basically this Chinese vessel is a satellite tracking vessel. Okay, तो ये प्रिसाइजली आपका स्पाई वेसल नहीं है, तो ये बेसिकली ये आपका एक सैटेलाइट ट्रैकिंग वेसल है, ठीक है जी. सो इट केम नियर द इंडियन कोस्ट एंड दिस इज व्हाट इज नॉट ट्रैक्ड बाय इंडिया, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी वर सेइंग दैट श्रीलंका शुड नॉट अलाउ दिस पर्टिकुलर, you can say, ship to be docked in that area. And this was the major concern when this Hambantota port was, you can say, given to Chinese for the construction activity. जब ये चाइना के पास गया था कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए, तभी से ही हमारा कंसर्न इसको लेके है. ओके, दिस इज द मेजर पॉइंट दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड हियर. तभी से हमारा कंसर्न जो है वो इस पर्टिकुलर चीज़ को लेके है, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि ये एक मेजर चैलेंज है हमारे लिए. ओके, सो वी स्टिल डोंट नो हाउ थिंग्स विल इम्प्रूव हियर, but definitely it's a major challenge for us. Okay, so we don't know how to deal with it. Definitely with good relations with Sri Lanka, like things can be sorted out, but you never know. Okay, other than that there is nothing much on this page. We'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं. So submarine deal is unrealistic. This is what Russia is saying. Okay, so basically Russia, which has pulled out of Indian Navy's tender for construction of 6 advanced submarine under Project 75I, has informed India that it cannot meet the terms and condition of 40,000 crore project. Okay, so right now we cannot even trust Russians whether they have the ability to, you can say, complete the construction of those submarines or not. Okay, तो ये चीज़ को लेकर भी कुछ भी क्लियर नहीं है यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. So this is the major point. So should we provide assistance to Sri Lanka in future? We should continue to provide assistance to Sri Lanka. Okay, हम पीछे कभी भी नहीं हट सकते हैं, क्योंकि आपका असिस्टेंस जो है वो मौसम के हिसाब से चेंज नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be a continuous activity. Okay, this is the point. So other than that, this is a major news. 3D printed cornea put to test in rabbit. Okay, so basically if we are successful in this, अगर हम successful हो जाते हैं, it will be a major, you can say, breakthrough in the application of 3D printed cornea, because later it will be used to you can say address the issue of blindness in humans as well. तो काफ़ी अच्छी चीज़ हो जाएगी यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. सो देखते हैं इसका क्या आउटकम रहता है. ओके, अदर देन दैट देयर इज़ नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है. On this page as well there is nothing much. Okay, so China announces new military drills near Taiwan, and this is how things are going on. They are still, there is a tough, you can say, rough passage going on in the time. But the point is this: is are we ready to, can this world afford another war? Okay, तो क्या ये एक और वॉर अफोर्ड कर सकता है? द आंसर इज नो, बिकॉज द इकोनॉमी इज स्टिल अंडर स्ट्रेस, एंड इफ समथिंग हैपन्स इन द ताइवान स्टेट, डेफिनेटली देयर विल बी नेगेटिव रिपरकशन ऑन अस. उसका असर हम पे बहुत खराब पड़ेगा. दिस इज द मेजर पॉइंट. ओके, अदर देन दैट देयर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. ओके, सो विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट पार्ट नाउ. स्टेट सिग्नल्स इंटेंट टू राइज केपेक्स स्पेंड, ओके, तो स्टेट्स जो हैं वो अब यहाँ पे कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर में खर्च करने वाले हैं. दिस इज द रियली गुड थिंग, ओके, काफ़ी अच्छा है यहाँ पे फोकस. एंड अदर पॉइंट इज दिस, दीज स्टेट्स विल ऑल्सो वर्क टू रिड्यूस देयर रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट, ओके, अपना रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट जो है वो कम करने की कोशिश करेंगे. एंड द वे थिंग्स आर गोइंग, इट्स इन राइट डायरेक्शन, चीज़ें एकदम सही दिशा में जा रही हैं. दिस इज व्हाट दिस होल आइडिया इज अबाउट, ओके. Other than that, there is nothing much. So that's it for the day then. Thank you very much.